will probably be looking to make more of an impression than they did on their home patch, and certainly before the game I saw one or two of their players casting an envious and rather awestruck eye around Celtic Park, although to be fair tonight, Stephen, the stand's not 100% full, and I think that's maybe an indication of the way Celtic fans have seen this tie develop from the first leg.
I think you're right. I mean, it's even a season book game, and possibly you'd expect a slightly bigger crowd in this, but it's not too bad, and it generally fills up in the first 10-15 minutes, so you'll see the latecomers filling things up, and it should be a good atmosphere by the time we really get into the game. I'm just interested in the way they're lining up tonight. It looks like Sandor Torghelle, who came on and did a good job in this first leg, he's playing as a lone striker, but it looks like Elis, who's supposed to be their main creative threat, playing just off him. But we'll see how that goes, because as Martin O'Neill was saying beforehand, he thought they'd come and attack. And it'll be interesting to see just what kind of attitude they have in this game.
MTK building from the back with Halmai. Celtic playing their familiar 3-5-2, and it's Henrik Larsson now the top goal scorer for a British club in Europe with 31 goals on the attack. Alan Thompson cuts it inside, looking for Petrov. The ball intercepted by Zawadzki. Plays it forward, and slightly late challenge there from Stanislav Varga. The referee immediately giving a free kick. Paul Lambert, the captain, intercepts the ball and again finds Alan Thompson. Thompson moving forward. Again looking for Henrik Larsson. MTK back in possession inside their own half. Zawadzki forward again, this time he's fouled by Liam Miller. Slightly nervy start from both teams, perhaps a bit cagey, Stephen.
A couple of daft tackles going on as well. I mean, really, you know, Liam and Stanislav need to watch themselves, because all you need is a pernickety referee and you get 2 bookings already, and that's the last time you want European competition, because you're hoping to go and make a long-term impact this season again.
Stephen Craney clearing the ball up the line, back in the side tonight. On the left-hand side of this 3-man defence, Bobo Baldi, of course, taking up his regular place in the centre with Stanislav Varga on the right-hand side. MTK look as if they're lined up with a 3-5-2 as well. Lulu's out there, 1-2 with Lambert, Larsson cut back for the return, and Zawadzki forced to play that one out for a corner. Good play from his captain Paul Lambert. The result, a corner kick for Celtic. As usual, the big defenders making their way up front, looking to get on the end there with this Petrov cross. It's Baldi, knocks it back out. It's Craney. Craney going for glory. The referee, the German referee Wolfgang Stark, waves play on. Liam Miller, one of the bright starts to this season, gets another starting place tonight. He was on the bench against Thistle on Saturday. This time the referee does give the foul Celtic's way. Certainly Chris Sutton, perhaps eager, an enforced absence from domestic games, obviously wanted to make an impression in the European stage.
Yeah, I think Andy mentioned it beforehand, was that, you know, Chris Sutton will be really desperate to make some kind of impact tonight, because this is the only opportunity he's getting to really, you know, prove that he's should be the man starting alongside Henrik Larsson, and with John Hartson back now, you know, he'll be wanting to prove that even more, because he was excellent in the first leg and he's been good so far, you know, in the European games, and he was an outstanding performer last season. But he'll be looking maybe to get a goal or two tonight and hopefully just reaffirm that he's the number one choice up there.
Thompson clips that one in, looking for Sutton. Flicks it on. Brave attempt there from the big Englishman, but he couldn't keep it on target. And it's eventually cleared out on this near side. The first half chance for Celtic, with just under 5 minutes gone here at Celtic Park. We have to keep reminding ourselves what the first leg scoreline was, and 4-0 in Celtic's favour would mean that they would have to lose this game by 5 clear goals, and we can't really see that happening tonight. Larsson almost through, now looking for his 32nd goal in European football. An awesome total, beating the record previously held by Peter Lorimer and Ian Rush. And he finds Thompson over the halfway line. He's got Sutton and Larsson, but the ball just sails beyond the outstretched leg of Henrik Larsson.
I'm slightly encouraged, Paul, but the way we're lining up at the start of this game, at least. I think you saw a minute ago Petrov and Miller almost linking up to good effect with Larsson. I think what you're seeing is Miller and Petrov slightly ahead of Paul Lambert, just one holding midfielder tonight, and I think Petrov and Miller look to be getting encouraged to push forward as often as possible, and I think that's something they could do with on perhaps a more regular basis.
MTK move forward a couple of steps and then are forced back. Ball is about to keep forward to Torgelli. Again, he's forced back. The ball closed down, good space for Celtic. They're not giving MTK any time at all on this ball. Kelly's finds himself forward, switches it to the left. Ziskos goes for the 1-2. Good interception from Bolo Baldi. Inside to the captain, Paul Lambert. With Larsson down the right hand channel, back to Liam Miller. And a throw in deep in the MTK half. Liam Miller with the throw in. Back with Agat, one of the rare goals from Didier Agat in the first leg in Budapest. And the half-time scoreline we have from Copenhagen and the other Champions League qualifier involving Scottish representatives. It's FC Copenhagen 0, Rangers 0, so 45 minutes for Rangers to get the goal that would see them in tomorrow's draw as well. Henrik Larsson trying to find the run of Didier Agat. Stephen Craney surging forward, finds Alan Thompson, a regular outlet for Craney. Thompson receives the ball from Sutton this time. Varga to the far post, looking for Sutton, knocks it down, lay off to Petrov. Petrov will shoot to shoot, straight into the arms of the Hungarian keeper Vey, but encouraging play again from Celtic.
It's a really nice football, and it all starts with Bobo Baldi's tackle and then Stephen Craney building it from the back. And great ball forward from Stanislav Varga, and it's really encouraging signs, I think. And right about Stephen Craney, I think he'll be looking, to really impress tonight, because it was well documented during the week that Glenn Roeder's sacking at West Ham has cost him a move down there, and whether it's playing for a place here or playing for a move elsewhere, he'll be looking to continue the sort of form he showed earlier on this game.
Perhaps one surprising omission from the MTK side tonight, Stephen, is the absence of number 9 Silva, who was targeted as a possible danger man before the first leg.
I think that's right. I mean, he's obviously been sacrificed. He looked to be playing a 4-3-2-1 with Elis and Pisson just behind Torgelli, and Silva was a big disappointment in the first leg. But he was pinpointed by Tom O'Neill, the chief scout, and by Martin as well, as someone who could be a danger to us. And he seemed to provide a bit of penetration, but he's obviously been left out tonight, and maybe it's a tactical thing. Maybe they're looking to rest him for a week, but I can't imagine that would be the case.
Didier Agat showing two MTK defenders a clean pair of heels. He's still trying to get the cross in. He wins the foul, and it's encouraging to see a guy who has the pace to get past these MTK defenders, perhaps showing a warning early on that what he's capable of.
I think it's all about confidence with the guy, isn't it? I mean, he's obviously got the pace and he's obviously got the ability to go past people. It's just having that confidence just to knock it ahead of himself and just run onto it, you know, because he can definitely do it, and we all have seen it before and we all know he can do it.
Thompson clips this one in, far post, looking for Baldy again. This time it's headed out. Thompson back to Agat. Celtic encamped on the edge of the MTK area. Petrov who had the shot just a minute or two earlier on. Thompson on his weaker right foot, but he gets the cross in and it's a goal. Oh, it's almost a goal. I think I got carried away there. I don't know if Chris Sutton thought that was in, but I certainly did. It was a lovely cross, uncharacteristically with his right foot from Alan Thompson. The ball actually spun up in the air. Eventually it was Larsson penalised for climbing.
It's terrific play by Thompson, isn't it? I mean, from this angle it did look like it was heading for the top corner.
It's very kind of you to say that, Stephen.
But I mean, it's great play with Thompson. Great turn, right foot cross. You know, you don't see it from often, but he's a player that's full of confidence, and it's great to see him nicking a penalty at the weekend, because that was one area of his game where he was maybe lacking in confidence after the game in Seattle and also the win he missed at Rugby Park last season. But he's a player who's obviously, you know, just really cemented his place in the left wing for Martin O'Neill, and I think it's obvious that Martin O'Neill's really, you know, had him as his first choice left wing back now. You see Bobby Petter on the bench and Steve Guppy coming back from injury, but I think they'll have to do very well to replace this man.
Ball back along Celtic's back three line with Stephen Craney. Inside to Petrov, and Celtic keeping possession very well. Craney again surging down the left hand side. He's got Thompson in support. Thompson on his favoured left foot. Tries to flick it inside this time. Doesn't get the break of the ball, and it's Molinar who brings it clear. A careless pass from the MTK captain. Once more restores possession for Celtic. Steady Agat. Again we're looking for Agat to race down the wing. Instead he switches it inside. Lovely play from Didier Agat forward to Larsson. Celtic stroking this ball about with ease. It's Thompson. Misses everyone and swings to the far side. Picked up by Miller. I think any idea that Celtic were not going to go for the victory tonight in this, their 100th home European tie, has been dispelled by the performance in this first quarter of an hour. Varga moving forward, again finds Agat. That gets the break of the ball, crosses it, looking for Sutton, it's a header and it's a goal for Chris Sutton! This time, there's no mistake either from Chris Sutton or from myself. Good cross from Didier Agat, buried in the corner from Chris Sutton. 1-0.
Terrific goal and great play from Didier Agat, great persistence. He seemed to have lost it and he's picked up again, and then there's Chris Sutton. We were talking about him earlier, saying how he wants to get a goal or two. Well, that's him off the mark, and it's a terrific start from Celtic.
So 14 at Celtic Park. The scoreline MTK 0. The aggregate scoreline now 5-0. Chris Sutton getting the goal. It's actually his 11th goal for Celtic in European competitions. Celtic marching on towards the Champions League group stages, and we'll only have to wait till tomorrow to find out which teams will be visiting Celtic Park this year. Thompson clipping it forward, looking for the run of Larsson. And I don't think this team tonight, Stephen, are going to sit back and be happy with the 1-0. I think they're there to entertain the support that have come out tonight.
Absolutely. I think you see from everything Martin O'Neill said this week that I think he was less than pleased with the way they played against Kaunas. He was obviously absent that night. He was in Helsinki watching MTK play the second leg of the game against HJK Helsinki. But I think you see from everything he said, he was going to put the team out tonight to really make amends for that, and so far he's done it. The difference in the performance and the application has been night and day, and I think it's excellent to see for the fans that have turned up, and it's a decent crowd now. You see it has really filled up over the first 10 minutes or so.
Chris Sutton wins another corner. Remember, if you've got anything to say tonight, either on the game or perhaps who you'd like to see Celtic get in the Champions League, or anything else, perhaps your favourite game of Celtic's hundreds, it's tv@celticfc.com. Corner kick into the 6-yard box is headed out by Ailey. Craney switches into the left, lovely pass from Craney. Petrov controls that one, and it's swung in again, headed out. MTK under siege at the moment. Thompson fires it towards Varga. It's too high for the big Slovakian defender. Agat manages to keep it in. Forces are firing in from right and left. MTK don't really know what to do. They can only just clear it. Captain Paul Lambert, cool and composed in this midfield area. Liam Miller surging forward. Larson goes for the 1-2, leaves it for Sutton. Molnar nips in front of Larson. But again, MTK failed to hold possession for more than a couple of passes.
They've been a massive disappointment over the two legs. I mean, you see the room they're giving Celtic in key areas tonight. You see Alan Thompson, he's wide open out the left just now, and it's just suicide because the marker for the goal, Chris Sutton was almost unmarked, and I just think they've been a massive disappointment, and we'd expected a lot better from them.
Alan Thompson clips it inside looking for Petrov. He's found space on the edge of the box. Back to Craney. There always seems to be a Celtic player in support. Varga. So they overhit that pass to Liam Miller, and it's MTK who eventually bring it forward. They get over the halfway line. Savadski's forced to check his run. He plays it forward. Again, they can't keep possession. Torgelli careless with the header down. Thompson over the halfway line. Finds Petrov. Once again, the ball, like a magnet, finds its way to Alan Thompson. Down the line, Miller's switch from right to left. He seems to be all over the park tonight. Doesn't get the fill there. That's brought clear towards Illy. Larson cuts inside. Plays it to the left-hand side, looking for Thompson. Will he keep it in? Manages to check it back, but it's too high for Larson. And eventually cleared up the line by Ziskos towards his captain. Celtic just a yard faster. More eager in the tackle than MTK. Forward looking for Larson, chests it down. Unlucky there from Henrik Larsson, who's closed down in between two MTK players. We're almost 20 minutes into this game. In the first half, it's Celtic 1, MTK 0. Goal from Chris Sutton. A header on 14 minutes has given Celtic the lead on the night. convincing aggregate lead at the moment. But that shows some strength there to hold off to Corgelli. It's now back with Bobo Baldi. And for his first taste of European football, Magnus Hedman isn't really having much to do tonight.
No, he isn't. I mean, they've not really come showing any real attacking advantage, as we've said before. They're playing a one-man up front, and I think when that one man is up against a player like Bobo Baldi, he's never going to get much joy. I mean, Baldi's been outstanding throughout the last couple of seasons for us. I think the Magnus Hedman may be waiting a wee while yet for some action.
Sutton cushions it down on his knee towards Larsson. Didier Gaspe, so get that ball, and again Agat seems to be keen to get the early crosses in, and I think that's what's proving very dangerous for Celtic tonight. He's set up one goal already. Wins the throw in there. Miller checks back. Parker's almost in the touchline. Miller unlucky there, loses out on the throw in. The omens weren't good for MTK, it has to be said tonight. It's the 6th time a Hungarian side have visited Celtic Park and have yet to record a victory. The nearest was Uzpestosa, who got a draw way back in 1971-72, so it wasn't likely that MTK were going to upset the apple cart tonight.
Although we have had a remarkable second leg escape before, we should remember, 64, although I think this one might be just a bit past them.
Ball played forward over the top, and I think Magnus Hedman could be having just about his first touch of the night. Smothers that ball and immediately releases it to Stanislav Varga. Hedman perhaps not going to be the busier of the two goalkeepers tonight, certainly not been the case in the first 22 minutes. Celtic build once again with Stephen Craney over the halfway line. Craney to Thompson. Moving forward and clips this one towards the edge of the box. It's too long for Sutton and Larsson. Varga making his 3rd European appearance for Celtic since joining the club. And given time, as he's showed against Dundee United, Varga can be very creative with the ball.
I think you can't expect too many screamers from 30 yards off the other side of the bar right enough, but he's shown that so far, and I think I spoke before the last game saying there were maybe a few doubters, still around there about Varga, but I think he's done a lot since then to show that he can be a quality player for the club. And I think he does have that side to his game when he can ping 40-yard passes, and that wasn't one of his best, we could say, but we have Stephen Craney there. There's always the option of having balls in behind.
Didier Agat read that 1-2. MTK Hungária player hadn't read it. Didn't have the best of build-ups to this game, it has to be said. They played their closest rivals Ferencváros at the weekend, and I suppose their Budapest equivalent to the Old Firm, and they lost that game 2-1, so things not going so well for MTK this season. They're currently lying 5th in the league, although there's only been 4 games gone.
That's right, and I mean this is the defeat by Ferencváros at the weekend was their 3rd successive defeat, and it can't be good for their confidence ahead of coming to a place like this. And after their first leg, the coach was very magnanimous in defeat, and he said that it had been an education for them, and that they've been beaten by a much stronger side. And whereas Martin O'Neill's been playing up this game this week, saying it's not over yet, he's had the attitude that it's all over, and he's just here looking to build for the UEFA Cup and for the domestic game.
Ball switched across the back of the MTK back 3. Lambert skips in front. Halmai and Thompson picks up the loose ball. Switches it left to right to Stanislav Varga. And a guy who's very bright in this first 25 minutes. Checks his run. And lovely pass there from Agat. Forward to the edge of the box to Sutton. Celtic really making MTK chase all over the pitch. Craney's made the forward run looking for Thompson. Thompson tried to thread it through, and it came off Molnar, the right back. Down the line, Craney switches it to the far post. Larson, too far for Larson, but it's picked up by Agat. Petrov challenging there inside the box with Tom Lucy. It's threaded off. Alan Thompson out for a throw in, a brief respite for MTK. Really under incessant pressure here in this first part of the first half. They've already lost 1 goal to Chris Sutton. And I wouldn't be surprised if they lost more goals throughout the course of this tie. Craney on his favoured left foot. Petrov inside, but he crosses with his right foot. It's cushioned header by Sutton, but cleared out. And again, at the risk of sounding repetitive, it's a Celtic player who picks the ball up. Paul Lambert over the halfway line. Lovely flick on there from Sutton to Petrov. The idea was right, he was just unlucky. He tried to thread it through to Chris Sutton, who was going to be on the end of that move that he started. Sutton really lively tonight. It's Thompson. Thompson clips it. Unlucky for Larson. Seemed to slip there just before Thompson clipped it across the 6-yard box, but Celtic with Didier Agat back in possession. I think Chris Sutton likes that flick because that's just the second time he tried it. And Magnus Edmund glad of the touch there.
The interplay around the penalty box is good though, isn't it? I mean, you've seen some really nice stuff from Petrov, from Miller, from Larson, from Sutton, and it's all good. And when the ball gets into the wide areas, we're getting good supply, and long may that continue.
Forward with the MTK captain Elise inside to Zadavsky. Early stages of the first leg, that number 7 seemed to show some threat to Celtic down the right hand side, but for some reason they're persisting with playing them in the centre of midfield, which is arguably one of Celtic's strongest parts of their team, and he really hasn't a peep in either leg since then.
You can only think it's maybe an attempt to counter Celtic's strength in there. You know, he was a very strong running player in the first leg, and if anything you can say about Celtic's central midfield, when they've got Lennon and Lambert in there, sometimes a runner can be a weakness if they get someone who's going to run in our midfield. That can be a slight chink in our armour, but tonight we've got a very strong run midfield. Paul Lambert looks very determined, and he's played very well so far. And I think you've seen that Zavasky's had no chance to make an impact, and that's credit to our boys.
Varga clips that one forward, looking for Sutton. Loses out there, and Zizkov, who played it forward to Elise, goes for the return. And again, the ball to Turgelli. It's a thankless task, I think, being the lone striker up front for MTK tonight, because you get no support, and even the passes that are played through are very poor. And the Celtic back three, of course, giving the front man no space at all. We're not happy with that. Foul there against Henrik Larsson. I suppose in a game like this, Stephen, the temptation is to look at the subs bench as well, to see the sort of players who maybe you're not used to seeing every week. your John Kennedys and Momo Silla playing, and even John Hartson. It's good to see him back in the squad.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think you're guaranteed that Hearts will get around out, particularly with the game going the way it is just now. I think we've got him getting a goal. The space they're giving is in the wide areas. I think John Kennedy would also be entitled to think he could be deserving of a shout, and then we've got the other boys that are in there. They've got Boy Petter, who's desperate to come in and make an impact after being out for so long. He's a forgotten man. Jackie McNamara has been outstanding of late, and we've got him in the Celtic View today talking about who he's desperate to be in every week. And Momo Silla, who can always come in. He's an unpredictable player. You don't know what he's going to do next, and I think Momo doesn't himself. But I think you can expect to see John Hartson definitely, and then another couple from those, and hopefully they can all do themselves justice.
So we've gone just over the half-hour mark here at Celtic Park. It's Celtic 1, MTK Hungária 0 on the night. It's 5-0 on aggregate. Celtic attack again. Chris Sutton seems to be at the centre of everything that Celtic are doing up front. Careless clearance. Liam Miller happy to let that one go out for a corner kick. The latest score flash we have from Copenhagen in the other Champions League qualifier at the moment is FC Copenhagen 0, Rangers 1. So as it stands, Rangers would be in the draw tomorrow, and that'd be 2 Scottish teams in the Champions League. I believe it was a penalty to Rangers in Copenhagen. They're into the second half. That game kicked off about 35 minutes earlier than Celtic's game. At the moment it's a corner kick to Celtic. Varga played it back to Petrov. It's now with Thompson. Headed on into the box. Eventually cleared up towards the halfway line. Or Paul Lambert will pick this one up. He's got time and space to surge forward. Finds Agat and gets the return. Lovely pass from Agat. Lambert in the box to Sutton. Nutmegged. The MTK player Henrik Larsson just ran out of space. Too many MTK defenders there. And Chris Sutton seems to be really up for this game tonight. He's trying everything, reflex as well, nutmegs, and everything seems to be coming off for him tonight.
It is. I mean, he's working incredibly hard, and you can see the frustration almost that's kind of must have built up over the last few weeks when he's not been able to play against the United Thistle and Dunfermline, of course. And I think it's coming out in the performance tonight. He's looking really eager and really desperate to impress, and he has been impressing so far, as he did over in Budapest.
There, Miller's move forward and Lambert finds him. Miller will play this one first time into the 6-yard box. It's sliced there by Halmai as Larsson came racing in. I'm not sure if he was aware of the Swede coming in behind him, but slightly fortuitous, and it went out in the far side for a throw-in. Lambert threads it through to Craney. Craney has to shoot here. He doesn't. It's Larsson. You're certainly not listening to me tonight, Stephen, because I thought that was a chance for Stephen Craney to grab. I think it's his first European goal.
Yeah, I was screaming inwardly for him to hit it as well. I thought it was a perfect position and on his left foot. And we've seen him score goals like that before. I remember one out at Tynecastle when all the young boys get run out a couple of seasons ago. And he's definitely capable of hitting a terrific shot. So I'm disappointed he didn't try himself there. Maybe a confident Stephen Craney who was playing every week would have hit that one.
Turgelli shakes his head in disgust there at that pass, and Stephen Craney, maybe not after the goal, but he's certainly contributing to the attacking prowess of Celtic tonight. Surging forward, and has a skillful left foot, Craney. Although this time he defers as the free kick is about to be taken to Thompson. Varga. Back to Agat. Agat fires it towards the far post, and the ball pushing back by Molnar into the arms of his defender. So just about 10 minutes to go here in this first half. It's been an impressive Celtic performance tonight, taking no chances to ensure that they're in this Champions League draw tomorrow. The goal from Chris Sutton on 14 minutes, the only goal of the game so far. header from a Didier Agat cross, and the scoreline 1-0 at the moment. Cleared up the line there by Jush, taken quickly and Celtic prepared to play it along the back three. There's plenty of space there at the back. Thompson just checks instead of passing and plays it back to Lambert, and Craney, perhaps feeling sorry for his goalkeeper, plays it all the way back to Headman. Miller surging forward, misses out Petrov, and Larsson almost in there. Certainly compared to the Kaunas game, I would just leave it. Larsson through, offside flag up, straight away there. Chris
must
Sutton.
have been quite tight, I think. Must have been quite tight. You know, it's Chris Sutton's measured the pass through, and maybe he's just delayed a second too late. But I'll be interested to see the replay of that one, because you know Larsson was holding the line until the last second, and I just wondered if the end lines was just acted a bit hastily there.
And we'll say that the reason that Emmerich didn't manage to finish that one was he was distracted by the offside flag. Celtic retained possession here with Liam Miller. Didier Agat set off down the right hand side. A good pass from Miller. Agat will get there first. Checks back. Inside to Petrov. Good play again from Didier Agat. Craney's moved inside to support Bargun. It's now out to Thompson. Celtic moving the ball swiftly from right to left and left to right, really stretching this MTK side. And Craney tried to thread it through there, unlucky as Thompson ran to receive the pass. Barger plays it off to Gelly. Baldy sweeps in there. It's a throw in deep in the Celtic half, a rare foray for MTK. And certainly, Stephen, compared to the Kaunas game, which exact same scoreline from the first leg, it's been a totally different performance tonight from Celtic.
Yeah, we talked earlier on about how Martin O'Neill had been less than impressed when he came back and saw a video of the game against Kaunas, and I think he really was demanding more urgency tonight. He said he wanted to tackle it like any other game at Celtic, but one had to be won. And I think you've seen that in the attitude. It's been a very good Celtic performance, I think, so far. You know, composed and you know, assured, and also with a bit of urgency to it, and that's exactly what we needed. Oh, Baldy's clearance almost sets Henrik Larsson in. Jush managed to find his defender. Goalkeeper's clearance there was without any precision, and immediately Celtic back on the attack. It can be difficult for a team if they get a 4-0 victory away from home, and they effectively know the tie's over to raise their game because they know they're through. And it's a bit like a team winning 4-0 at half time. Quite often you see the game petering out, and I think maybe that's what happened against Kaunas. It's only natural, I think, you know, they weren't in top gear against Kaunas, but I think what we've got to remember, and what I'm sure Martin O'Neill would have reminded them of, is that, you know, people pay good money for the season tickets, and you can see a lot of people turning up again tonight, and you know, this is the game they get, European games they get, and you want to give them value for money, you want to give them some entertainment. And plus, there are places to be played for, you know, and people should forget that.
Ball cleared off Chris Sutton and out for a throw in on the far side. Just over 5 minutes to go here in this first half at Celtic Park. Chris Sutton, the only goal scorer on the night. In case you're just joining us, the latest scoreline we have from Copenhagen is FC Copenhagen 0, Rangers 1. Aggregate scoreline 2-1 in Rangers' favour. That match into the second half, and of course any further action there will keep you right up to date. Craney just manages to keep that one in. Paul Lambert, I think, testing just to see how alert Craney was. Down the line for Larson, who'll be keen to add another European goal. This time he wins the foul. And as ever, Thompson makes his way over to this right hand side. He'll swing this one in. Varga and Baldy have both moved up into the box, hoping to get on the end of this one. Referee Wolfgang Stark not happy with the attentions down to the Celtic forwards there. Thompson back to Lambert. Lambert clips it far post looking for Baldy. Clatters into the back of MTK defender. Referee waves play on. Sutton with two players round him wins the throw in. Sutton's strength there, holding off two MTK defenders.
I must admit, I can't understand that last set piece. It was in such a good position that you shift the ball back to an angle where it's not nearly as dangerous, and the ball in, Baldy's done alright, but it's always an unlikely one because the angle makes it difficult. It makes it all the more likely somebody's going to be caught offside, and I think it's a waste that Thompson did just throw it in because it was a great position for him to get an in-swinger. Somebody needs a glancing header on it and it's in the net. It's Lambert in possession at the moment. Craney with a lot of space down this left hand side. Clips it to the edge of the box. Again a series of headers. It's picked up by Thompson. Thompson finds Varga. Now with a gap. Celtic with some precise passing. It's in the box now with Miller. Miller takes a return and plays it on his left foot. It's saved with his foot from the goalkeeper, unorthodox. But if it's kept out, then who can complain as far as MTK are concerned? Torgelli switches it to the right. For once he had support up front but couldn't find his man. Again, Celtic back on the attack. Sutton failed to get on the end of that Thompson pass. Liam Miller unlucky there not to add to the scoring tonight. He's already scored one European goal for Celtic, one European goal this season in the game in Lithuania against Kaunas. Left foot shot there saved by the foot of Zoltan Vein, the MTK goal. Lovely little dummy there from the referee. Left it for Craney, who wins the throw in down the left hand side. It's good, it's excellent play by Celtic, as a second ago. The interplay around the penalty box between the strikers and Petrov and Miller coming forward is a real feature of it in the first half so far. And I think it's something we want to see more of in the second half because that was a really nice link-up play, and maybe had it been on Miller's right foot he might well have stuck it in the corner. As it is, it's not a bad shot, the keeper's just dealt with it well with his legs, and I think as the second half goes on you might see Petrov and Miller get into more goal scoring opportunities. Thompson spins it forward, it's headed out there by Comluce. Miller harrying there on the MTK midfield and regaining possession. Lovely one-touch football. Again inside to Larson. To Petrov. Tried to thread it through there to Sutton. Yeah, very accomplished first half performance. Handled that one almost instinctively, I think there. I'm sure the referee felt a bit sorry for the MTK player, Pisson. Stephen Craney inside to Sutton. First time to Petrov. Ran out of space there, Celtic. There's Torgelli down the left hand side. Tries to skip past Baldy, and Baldy's strength read that one well and
Crunching, sliding tackle, knocks the ball out for a throw in front of the main stand. So really just playing the last few seconds here, Stephen, and I can see the referee glancing at his watch. There's not really been many stoppages at all. And in fact, that is the last action of the first half. It's been an impressive and accomplished performance in this first half.
Yeah, Celtic can go off thoroughly satisfied with the first half's work, and Martin O'Neill gives him a bit of freedom to make whatever changes he would want to make second half, whether that be bringing on John Hartson or a young boy or two. So we'll see what happens, and I think that Celtic can expect, more of the same second half.
Well, there we have it. After the first 45 minutes of this game, Celtic already had the 4-goal lead from the first leg in Hungary. They've added to that with a Chris Sutton goal in 14 minutes, a lovely header into the far corner of the net. Half-time score here from Celtic Park. It's Celtic 1, MTK Hungária. Boa Baldy's going off to be replaced by John Kennedy. It's good to see young John getting a run out in the first team, and it looks as if Stilian Petrov's going off at half-time. Bobby Petter's on. He'll play wide on the left. Alan Thompson will play just inside. He's comfortable in either position, it has to be said, and equally impressive in both, it has to be said as well.
Yeah, he's always said he wanted to play centre midfield, and he says that's his best position. It's the position I think he made his name in, playing alongside Andy for Bolton, and I think he's impressed pre-season playing there, and he can definitely do it. He can definitely push forward and score more goals, and I think that's what we'd expect from the second half. He'll take up the role being played by Stilian Petrov in the first half.
And a chance perhaps for Bobby Petter. We spoke briefly about the number of players in competition for that wide left position, as we watch Thompson trying to skip through about 3 players, but Petter showed some signs that he was perhaps getting back to his best form in pre-season, and tonight's the chance, I think, against a team who we have to admit aren't the best that we've seen here at Celtic Park, to impress Martin O'Neill.
Definitely. Bobby's a nice guy, anyone that knows him will tell you that. He's also a very honest guy, and I think he's admitted that it was off the field problems that caused him some real problems last season, and caused him to disappear off the face of the earth, I think Andy was saying it. And he'll be looking to get back now, because he's a player who we all know can turn it on and can get at people and a little trick and get past people. So if he can get in and make a little impact, when Thompson can play inside, then there's definitely a role for him at Celtic Park, I think.
Miller takes that pass from Lambert and finds Didi Agat. One of the many Celtic successes of the first half, set up the goal, but his overall contribution was very impressive. Plays the 1-2, and a blatant Žižkos, I think, basically signals that there's no way he was going to beat Didi Agat in a sprint there, so he was quite happy just to hold back Didi Agat. The result, a throw in, a free kick, beg your pardon, to Celtic in the inside right channel. As usual, if Thompson will clip this one in. This time it's John Kennedy who has moved up. A tug there, looked like on the back of Sutton, but the referee plays play on, and nice play for Torgelli. He's over the halfway line, and remarkably has some support. He's going himself, and he's going for the shot. Plays it by the left hand side, and he's perhaps realised, Stephen, that the game's over. He wants his glory goal, because he had the substitute Kovic racing down the left hand side in acres of space, and he just wouldn't pass them.
I actually think he was right to go for goal there. The option was there for him to switch over, but I think the shot was the better option. And you see that John Kennedy's actually tripped Stephen Craney up on the way back there. The two of them just collided, and I think that's maybe something that won't do John Kennedy any good at the start of the second half. But he's a player that's deserved his chance tonight, and I think that once he gets to grips with this game, he'll get to grips with that striker as well.
There's Petter showing some trickery down the left hand side, claiming for the corner but doesn't get it. But certainly the treble winning season, one of the many strengths of Celtic side was Bobby Petter down that left hand side. Deceptive turn of pace, but very, very difficult to dispossess.
He was an absolute sensation that season, I don't think there's any doubt about it. He faded towards the end, and I think that he'll be looking to get back to that kind of form, because there's no doubt he can, and I think it's been a disappointment to everyone the way he's faded, because he's got a new contract, and since then he's not shown anything like the kind of form he's capable of.
So it seems to be all action in Copenhagen. The scoreline with just a couple of minutes left of the 90 minutes. It's now FC Copenhagen 1, Rangers 2. So as it stands, Rangers will go through, and I think Copenhagen would now need to get 2 goals in the last couple of minutes. Rangers obviously got that second away goal, and it does look now as if Celtic and Rangers will both be in the draw for the Champions League tomorrow. Certainly from a coefficient point of view, good news for Scottish football.
Yeah, they look safe now, don't they? And I can't see Copenhagen scoring 2 goals in the last couple of minutes. And the only thing that worries me now is the reaction I'm going to get when I get home from my friends and family after seeing a Hawk Rangers go through.
So a free kick, just about 22 yards out. Will it be Larsson? Will it be Thompson? Will it be Craney? And Varga, I'm not sure he had that one shot against Dundee United, so maybe he feels he's got a chance to stake his claim, but certainly I think Henrik Larsson will always take precedence here. He's shaping up to shoot, although the 2 left-footed players. But it is Larsson, fires it straight into the arms of Vey in the MTK goal.
I must say, I'm not the biggest fan of Henrik Larsson's free kick technique. I would always have, okay, it's a right-footed position. I would have Stephen Craney hitting him, Storm Maloney when he's on the pitch. I just think that Larsson doesn't, get the necessary power behind the shots. He's gone for power there a wee bit, but I just don't think he's the best free kick taker at the club. I really don't. And I would have Maloney, Craney, and Thompson ahead of him, 9 times out of 10.
Lovely skill there from the Celtic captain. Appreciated round of applause from the supporters there. John Kennedy making a rare appearance for the first team tonight. Played once before for Celtic in Europe. It's only his second appearance in Europe tonight. Sutton losing out, and Turgelli again, he's got support left and right. This time he tries to find it, but Varga read that one well. Thompson in support of Sutton. Petter very direct tonight. Skips inside, 3 players close him down again. He's not given a free kick. MTK bring the ball clear. Space down the left hand side. Didier Gat's tracked back well. He's cut back. Again, MTK forced to play it back the way when perhaps the more direct approach might have had more benefit, allowing Celtic to track back, but Savitsky found himself just on the edge of the box. And there's a save from Magnus Hedman. The shot from the edge of the box from Molinar straight into the arms of Magnus Hedman. He'll be pleased just to be in a bit of action, but there was never any danger he was going to be in any trouble from that one. As Larsson almost skipped in front. Ziscos there, but the MTK defender just read it well. Always difficult when Larsson's bearing down at the back of you. Never quite sure where he is. Poor clearance again from Vey. He seems keen to give the ball back to Celtic at every opportunity. Didier Gat just skipping past about 3 challenges. Unlucky they're losing out. Seem to be caught in 2 minds between trying to find Larsson through the middle or Sutton wide on the right. In the end, succeeded in neither. Again, Gat's appetite for the game tonight seems to be very high. He's chasing all over the park looking for that ball.
He is, he's having a very good game. I think he's unfortunate there, he just maybe caught in 2 minds as you mentioned, and I think he probably should have released the pass a bit earlier, but it's strange how Didier Gat just seems to save his best performances for the European games. He's been outstanding for us in Europe over the last few seasons, and once again he's played well in the last round, and he played well in Budapest, and here he is again having a good game, so I think we'll need him, no doubt about it, in the Champions League, and if he can perform to this kind of level and get past people, he'll be a big asset to us.
MTK almost passing themselves into trouble there. Still retaining possession. It's over the halfway line now, they're still on the attack. Ball switched to the right to Torgelli. Skips past Varga, but Stephen Craney read that one well. Good sliding challenge from Craney. Brings the ball clear. Read that well after Torgelli had skipped past Vargan into the box. Sabadsky plays the ball back, and MTK seem to be keener to throw one or two players forward in this second half, but certainly if ever there was a case of too little too late, I think it was tonight.
Definitely, they do look a bit more purposeful second half, and yeah, that was a terrific tackle from Stephen Craney a minute ago, you know, getting back to block Torgelli, because that's the one area of his game I think, you know, Martin O'Neill's seen a bit lacking, and I think he's obviously looking to prove that he is a tackler and he is a player that can be positive in tackles and headers, because it's obvious at this club you're not going to get in the central defensive positions if you can't, you know, if your heading and your tackling isn't watertight.
Better wide on the left. From a standing start, he can jink past players when he wants to. This time he just finds Miller in support. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Still that solitary Chris Sutton goal after 14 minutes. All that separates the sides tonight, but of course there was the small matter of 4 goals in the first leg. Celtic will give away possession at the moment. It's the MTK substitute, Vitkovic, who does seem to be slightly lively and is moving forward to support Torgelli on occasion, although nothing came of this one. John Kennedy surging forward. It's in the box with Sutton. Linesman on the far side suggesting that it was Chris Sutton who perhaps had a tug of the MTK defender's jersey. It's Molinar who had a shot just a couple of minutes ago on target but not really troubling Hedman, and the ball sails harmlessly out for a throw in, and the final score's just come through from Copenhagen. Final score on the night is FC Copenhagen 1, Rangers 2, so that makes the aggregate score 3-2 in Rangers' favour. So Rangers through to the Champions League group stages. I think we might see another substitution, Stephen. Perhaps the introduction of John Hartson, and the debate at half-time was, will it be Chris Sutton, who Martin O'Neill might want to give the 90 minutes, or Henrik Larsson?
Yeah, no, it looks like he's getting ready to come on, and I think Andy was spotting when he said I think it'll be Henrik Larsson that comes off, because Sutton, the fact that he's not played the domestic games, he'll want to get 90 minutes under his belt, and I think that he will stay on for the rest of the game. You know, Hartson Sutton's not always the ideal partnership because they're relatively similar types of players, but I think that's the one that Martin will go with for the last 45 minutes this half.
Craney switches it from left to right, and McCart's forced to come back into his own half to gather that one. Larsson, who's moved down the right, does so much running. Henrik Larsson always available for any of the midfield players. Of course, it was also mentioned at half-time that John Hartson's just 1 goal away from his 50 for the club, so certainly it's a milestone he'd like to reach sooner rather than later, and tonight would be an ideal occasion for him.
Yeah, it became a bit of a curse for him, to be honest. I think last season, you know, he mentioned his 50th goal, and he was talking to them all about it and saying how he was desperate to get it, and then of course he gets injured, and I think that's the kind of the last thing you want to be, is on the edge, you know, of a milestone, and he'll be desperate to get on and get that 50th, and there's no doubt it'll come because he's a perfect goal scorer.
Substitution predicted in the studio. John Hartson on. Still a very popular player around Celtic Park. The Celtic support giving him a rousing reception as he comes on to replace Henrik Larsson, good partner Chris Sutton up front. As MTK take a corner kick. It's Chris Sutton back in a defensive role. He's equally comfortable whenever he plays. John Hartson had an under-21 game at the start of the week there when he came through 90 minutes unscathed, and obviously pleasing from his point of view, and also for Mark O'Neill as well.
Yeah, I spoke to Mark O'Neill after that game, and he was delighted to see John Hartson coming through 90 minutes. I think he'd only expect him to play an hour at most, and to see him coming through 90 was a massive boost. And I know John was feeling pretty stiff on the Tuesday, but he's obviously recovered in time to play a part tonight, and it's great to see him back because he's a great big guy and an excellent striker as well.
Almost 15 minutes gone here in this second half. Tie effectively over before the game started, but Celtic with one goal to the good so far. Now John Hartson's on, certainly he'll be hoping to add to that. Gets his first touch now. He is a very popular player at Celtic Park, and the reaction of the crowd, even when he just chests that ball down, is testament to that.
Absolutely. I mean, when he came here, it's fair to say that it was a mixed reaction to him signing. I think that a lot of people saw him as a kind of British type of guy. After the Ayo Berkovic thing and various other incidents in his past, and he's really come on, and he couldn't be more different to the perception of him that was given across to the media. He can't be more different character, and as a player, he's been fantastic for the club, and the fans have really taken to him, and it's because he's a guy who'll score goals and who'll give everything for the cause.
Remember tonight, if there's anything you want to comment on, whether it's about the game tonight, whether it's about your hopes for the draw tomorrow, or what you think of the fact that the Scottish coefficient is going to be boosted with the news that Rangers have got through against FC Copenhagen, email the studio. It's tv@celticfc.com. That's tv@celticfc.com. I suppose, Stephen, we haven't talked about it yet, but I suppose we have to mention it now. There is this small matter of a Champions League draw tomorrow, and I suppose a lot of people are saying that they want Real Madrid, they want Zidane, Figo, Ronaldo, Beckham, and every other superstar that plays for them to come here and play at Celtic Park.
Why not? I mean, why not? I was very fortunate to be there a couple of seasons ago. The first time we were ever in the Champions League draw, it coincided with the awarding of the Golden Boot to Henrik Larsson, and we went across to cover it for the View, and it was a fantastic occasion, and just seeing the Celtic crest flickering across the screens, it sent a shiver down the spine, because you're so used to that music, and just the occasions of the Champions League. It's just a fantastic tournament, and Martin O'Neill has been referring to the Holy Grail, and I think it's spot on. And whoever we get, I think we've got to be just go in against him and just play the way we've been playing over the last couple of seasons in Europe.
Kennedy over the halfway line, switches it to the left hand side, looking for Sutton. It's knocked out there by Tom Lucy. Turgelli tried to dominate past Kennedy there, didn't get the break of the ball, and Vargas sweeps up at the back. Vargas actually switched inside the middle of the back three, and Kennedy's taking the right hand side role, and the ball went off at half time. Launching tackle there from Liam Miller, shows great strength and wins the ball again. It's still Miller. Miller's trying to push through, he closed down, he wins the break of the ball, he's on the edge of the box and just ran out of space there. It was great determination from Liam Miller.
It's unfortunate, isn't it? I mean, it's funny because Liam Miller's so small, you sometimes think of him as this wee lightweight player, but he's far from that. He's a very strong little lad, and he's a guy who can hold all people and win tackles, and you've seen that there.
Hartson in the box, spins, hits it on his left foot. I think he saw that number 50 flashing up there, but he couldn't get that one on target. Nice play between himself and Sutton, however.
That's a shot of a rusty player, though, isn't it? I mean, he doesn't look anywhere near match fit yet. You don't want to be too judgmental at this stage, but I mean, I think he'll be a few weeks. Martin Neal said in the past that with John Hartson, whereas it taking one player a couple of weeks, it might take him 4, and I think you might see that. It will take him a while to get back to the best.
It's MTK on the attack. Again, Probably the man that's caused Celtic more problems in a relative sense, since the MTK haven't really caused as much problem as Vitkovic is. I have to say, I was glad he wasn't on at the start because his name's just a nightmare to say, but he had a chance there. I called it far too high over Magnus Hedman's goal. And there must be a temptation for Hedman to actually want them to get some shots on target so he can show the support just what he's capable of doing in a shot saving sense.
Yeah, I remember asking Magnus Hedman about that once, actually not long after he'd arrived at the club and played a couple of games, and he basically admitted, he said, although you want the team to be comfortable, he said when you're playing like a game against Dundee United and you're 5-0 up, you are willing them to come forward and have a go and give you something to do, because it's be boring, and apart from anything else, it's keeping your concentration when you've got absolutely nothing to do, and I think that's a skill that every Celtic goalkeeper has to have. One thing I've seen in the second half, Paul, is that they're definitely getting tighter on us in wide areas. We're not getting the same joy in terms of space to cross the ball. You've seen Moy Peta gets the ball, there's 3 men on him basically every time, and I think I've seen Lydia Gat, they're getting a lot tighter on him too, and that's making things a lot easier for them, because they all know that if his ball's in the box with Hearts and Sutton and Larson when he was still on, then you're only going to lose goals, and that was the case first half.
Kennedy has time to control that one. Finds his captain. Thompson lets it run on. Watson tried to thread it through for Sutton, but he gets the break of the ball and finds Lydia Gat. Nice pass from John Hartson. Gat has 2 players. Kennedy's cross, dummied by Liam Miller. Celtic in possession, looking for that second goal tonight. Tried to thread it through to Alan Thompson there, but it was intercepted, and MTK captain Ulis plays that one forward, and it's well read by both Varga and Hedman. Hartson almost played that ball out, but Stephen Craney kept it in. Back to Hedman, and when we talk about teams that could be coming here very shortly, Stephen, it has to be said that Martin O'Neill's Celtic have a very impressive record here ever since the defeat against Ajax in the Champions League qualifier, which was all but meaningless since we were through 2 of the group stages, and since then there's been very many big names that have come here, none of whom have gone away with a victory.
It's very encouraging, and I think what you saw last season was equally encouraging, that they managed to sort out their away record, because that was what obviously cost us in the first season in the Champions League, and last season, the away performance was so impressive, because after Ajax and the Champions League season, we really didn't do ourselves justice. And last season they seemed to solve the problems that were being caused, and I think you saw again like Liverpool, and so often we played Blackburn, Boavista, all excellent performances away from home, and if we can be that resolute, then we'll do well.
Kennedy throwing into the box, it bounces the 6-yard box. John Hartson looked as if he was going for it, changed his mind, and Lydia Gat lofts it in on top of the net. Again, you touched on it a couple of minutes earlier, Stephen. This is obviously John Hartson's first game back in the first team, and perhaps some way down the line he might have thought of going for that one inside the 6-yard box, although even then it was less than a 50-50 chance for him.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think you will see it will take John Hartson a bit of time to get back. I think when he arrived here at first, it actually took him a while to get his first goal, and then once he started, he just couldn't seem to stop. But I think once he gets off the mark, he'll score a good few goals this season. But it will take him a while to get back, and he does look rusty. So
just over 20 minutes to go here at Celtic Park. Still 1-0 on the night, 5-0 in aggregate. Just really playing out time. Although another goal or two would certainly keep the crowd happy. Yeah, not happy with that one there.
It's a very soft award, isn't it? I mean, he's just using his strength, and I think it's a soft one. The referees generally handled the game quite well tonight, but I think on a couple of occasions, I think one with Henrik Larsson in the first half, he's given quite strong free kicks in areas of the MTK defensive area. So I think they did get every right to complain there.
So another substitution for MTK. It's actually the captain, Elias, who's going off to be replaced by number 25, Zabos.
I think Elias has been one of the biggest disappointments of the two legs. You know, he was told he was a star player, a creative influence, and the guy who pulled the strings, and he's done nothing of the sort. To be quite honest, he's been very disappointing.
Some lovely footwork there from Magnus Hedman. I don't know if he maybe listened to Andy Walker at half time and is taking a place for up front, but certainly skipped past the MTK forward there with some tricky footwork. Not sure if he'd have done that if we were actually just a goal ahead and anxious to avoid losing a goal. Thompson clips it in looking for Hartson, he chests it down. Still Hartson. Defender managed to get a foot in there. Nice control, and the idea was right to flick it over the defender's head. Unlucky. Still wins the corner.
That's more like the John Hartson the Celtic fans know and love, isn't it? I mean, he's chested the ball down really well there, and he's causing them real problems.
Thompson clips in near post. Sutton goes for it, misses out, and it's just hooked high into the air. Stephen Craney's got time, tries to control it, loses out, and Torgelli, his control let him down, allowed Craney to redeem himself. Some nice interchange there from Sutton and Miller. It's clipped to the far post looking for Hartson. Heads it down to Thompson. Thompson's in the box. Flicks it with his right foot, just on the wrong side of the post.
He's given a corner ball. It's great play by Hartson again, you know, very unselfish. Got 50 goals there, but that's terrific. And Alan Thompson also just get maybe a little touch off the MTK defender on the end of the post.
Very reminiscent of Thompson's goal actually against Suduva. And the away leg where the ball was played forward, it was Hartson that cushioned the header down, and that time Thompson skipped round the goalkeeper. Corner kick into the box, and Sutton and Kennedy both perhaps penalised for climbing there. Kennedy slightly late there with the challenge, but the ball broke fortuitously for MTK. The referee happy to play advantage there. Liam Miller read that one. Bobby Petter through. Liam Miller almost got it through to Petter. Last gasp challenge there. Let's MTK bring it clear down this near side with Zavadsky. Looks as if it could be tricky, but certainly never given any room against Celtic to cause them any problems at all.
I think one thing to say this season is there's not the kind of the individual talent that the FC Ball had. You know, last year we came away raving about a good few of their players, you know, the Yakin brothers. And I think you know, there's all the guys like Jimenez and Rossi up front, whereas MTK just don't have the same kind of star quality. And individually and collectively they're just nowhere near as good. And I think we've been very lucky with the draw actually when you see some of the ties elsewhere.
Nice play from Hartson, finding a gap. Sliding challenge there from Zizkos. Prevents a gap racing down the right hand side. It's Hartson again, clips it forward looking for Sutton. Sutton knocks it in for Miller. Goalkeeper getting in just ahead of Liam Miller. Zizkos finds himself space on the left hand side. There's several MTK players forward, a rare sight tonight. The ball on the edge of the box. Torgelli loses out, but they get a lucky break again. They just can't keep hold of the ball, and it's Liam Miller brings it clear, looking for Hartson. They've obviously decided to throw caution to the wind, Stephen, and perhaps go for that away goal.
Yeah, I think that's most definitely too little too late, but they have shown a bit more revenge in the second half, and why not? You're here, you're 4-0 down, you're probably going to play at Celtic Park once in their careers, and you might as well go out and enjoy it.
Creta penalised there for, well, perhaps a slight frustration there because he found Molinar the immovable object just seconds earlier.
I think that's always the danger when you've got players coming in, who are out in the cold for a while or on the fringes of things, and they're desperate to prove themselves. Is that they're often overeager and they get a bit nervous, and it's happened maybe in the past. We've seen it last season with Stephen Craney once or twice. He's a very talented player, but because he felt such pressure when he was coming into the team, he would be nervous and he wouldn't show up as real quality. And maybe that's sometimes what you see, like maybe Bobby Petter tonight. He's maybe just a bit over-eager, a bit too desperate to prove himself, and that can sometimes, if you're not relaxed enough, can I think show through in your performance.
Kennedy over the halfway line, goes for the return, takes a nudge and wins the free kick. Thompson very, very quick with that one, and too quick for Chris Sutton. And just another reminder of anything you want to comment on tonight's game, the Champions League draw tomorrow, or any other Celtic related manner. The address tonight is tv@celticfc.com. Email the studio, it's tv@celticfc.com. Through for Larson, he's Hartson, inside the box. Referee, I think, decided it was 6 on and half a dozen of the other.
You see John looking towards the linesman there, and I think he's definitely claiming for it. If anything, it's outside the box, but I think his arm's definitely across him, but I think that should have been a free kick outside the box. It's dreadful, isn't it? I mean, we're told so much they were a decent technical team and quite a good passing side. You see it in flashes, but at times they really let themselves down, and I think we've come to expect a great deal more from them. And, in terms of their pre-match billing, they've really disappointed.
Certainly in terms of historical European football, Hungary is one of the great names, but it can only be in history because it's been a long time since Hungarian side has ever really impressed on the European stage, and MTK are not going to be the ones to reverse that trend in recent years. Liam Miller still battling, he's always harrying there up front. Perhaps a bit over-eager there. We'll try and start waving away protests from John Hartson. Celtic in possession with Kennedy forward to Agat. Back to Kennedy again. Celtic very comfortable in this game without perhaps stretching MTK the way they did in the first half. It's Lambert, fires it forward looking for Hartson. He's not happy with that one at all, and again the referee seemed to penalise Hartson, but he had gone in front of the defender, and perhaps in a case for saying at the very least the referee should have let him play on.
I think it's just 6 on and half a dozen the other, isn't it? I mean, you've seen so often with this referee, he has been half decent, but he always gives the defensive benefit of the doubt, and in that case again, John Hartson seems to be justifiably upset with the fact he's been given a free kick against him.
Nice interchange there from MTK down the right hand side. Molinar Bundled off the ball by Petter. Referee waves play on. It's Thompson. He's sitting on the right hand side. He checks. And now finds Agat. Celtic switching it between both wings. Petter knocks it to Hartson, takes the return, skips past one player. Molyneux again, they move a block jack. This time he's penalised. He